Chicka chicka wow wow. The Valentine's Day edition. What's in my drawers? Golf talk next. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary at McGolf. And we're here to talk about what's in my drawers, not because in there. And why is that? Because old clubmaker club fitters are tremendous pack rats. And that's how it started. We started talking about the stuff that was laying about in the drawers, and it became a really cool discussion. And now it's gone worldwide. We talk about golf club fittings, golf club repairs, opinions, and we've expanded it into some other topic as well, which we will most likely talk about tonight. So that's a good thing. So to kind of talk about what I've got a lot of trinkets here to show you guys. Apparently this last week in doing lots of builds and videos, I was sent a lot of stuff. So first and foremost, happy Valentine's Day out there to you guys. Mrs. McGolf did me a solid. Look at this. Now we're talking about this guy. Look at that, huh? Look at that. So what is that? That was just a container of about 12 Reese's Peanut little mini cups, which is very nice. But have you ever noticed when they do stuff like that, where they have these tins or whatever, that golf is typically not included amongst them? You know, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, all those other ones are there, but golf is typically left out. When we saw those, it was like an automatic purchase, so not too bad. So hopefully we're going to do this. So I did it right first. I got Mrs. McGolfer 2 Valentine's Day cards plus a little treat like that for her, only not in golf, and we should be good to go. As you guys may have noticed or may not have noticed, there's a football game Sunday, and it was a Super Bowl, and the Los Angeles Rams won. Now, being from Ohio and a Nebraska Cornhusker by trade.
Hey, did you say anything nice about me? Because I was busy making money.
Yes, I was. So it's time for you to close that door.
Can you repeat that?
No, you can watch it on the thing. Look at that. And anyway, I was rooting for the Bengals, although I didn't get to watch much of it. And but I understood it was a good game all the way. So congrats to the winners there. And just like we do for all the other winners. Now we had. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch, you should have. But the Waste Management Phoenix Open, holy cow. 2 aces thrown out there. And this will be another, let's use this as a topic of discussion as well. When we get, I'm all about the rowdiness. I'm all about cheering on your golfer. I'm all about giving him all kinds of grief, whatever, when they do bad or they throw one out to the right or whatever. And I do like the celebration, but throwing the cans onto the field, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that, the reason being is the thing is the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Waste management. And what do? We throw a whole bunch of trash onto the field. Seems kind of counterintuitive here, but tell me what you think. So anyway, congratulations, Scotty Scheffler's first win over Patrick Cantlay. I think we're going to see a lot of those two folks on the leaderboard. And a little known name, Thigala, did really, really well in the first 2 rounds. I think nerves may have gotten him into the third, and he just survived on the back 9, or on the 4th round. So that was pretty good of him. The Rash Al Khamia Classic, I hope I said that right. R. Fox was number 1 there. The Astera Golf Championship, presented by MasterCard, B. Matthews. That's the Corn Ferry Tour. The other one was the DP World Tour. And the Dimension Data Pro-Am, which is the Sunshine Tour, and A. Knapp won that one. And the Australian Tour, man, they were all over the place. And I like this one, a D. Papadatos. So not bad at all. So as part of going back to the Super Bowl now, and for all you guys, of course, I went to the smoker, right? Went to the smoker, and we did a brisket, and this was part of it. There's the brisket. That was the flattened part of the point right there, and the rest of it I turned into that. Those are burnt ends. We've affectionately called them now brisket brownies. You can steal that all you want because it was awesome, and it made a really nice dinner right there. So we ate good. We ate good. Another thing to catch you up with Mrs. McGolf, we do know that her foot is broken and that she will be going under knife when we get back from vacation because vacation was far more important to her. Anyway, we are in preparation for her being on not putting weight on one foot, and we got her one of those little knee scooters right there. Right, look at that nice shop green going on. We even figured out that the thing will hold 100 golf balls, one large bucket of our balls. So if I can get some all-terrain tires, maybe there might be some picking in her future. You never know. All right, to keep this ball rolling, did a lot of repairs, a lot of building, and we're going to show you some of it. One of my faves this week was for a local fella, and the new 225s. We just got a shipment in of 225s right there, and we put the 105s in there in the S Flex and dark green shafts. Now, you would think that looks ugly compared to that. However, when you put them together, see, I put them all logo down, so you can't see any of that stuff. So it looks really good, right? It looks really, really good. And I've been doing lots of boxes to build, so I didn't really take too many pictures of them. However, I did one, since we have Jack from Lombard, Ohio on here quite a bit. He sent me one. It was this guy. All right, it was this guy, which just happens to be this guy. So we get it over here. All right, the Novation. All right. A little bit of sky mark in there, Jack, but okay. And he also sent this. Now, this is one I haven't seen for a long, long time. The Pro Force, right? The Pro Force shaft. That's a pretty neat little shaft. I've got all the driver shafts from that. Yeah, so not too bad. They still do very well. Went together good. Good call on the shim, Jack. It was worthwhile. That became the topic. So not bad at all. And it turned out pretty good too. So there it is. So we got through those. Boom, 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 boom. All righty. So we get into that one. So trinkets. So I have got so much content to show you guys once we get going. I've been doing all the builds to get caught up, and that's been all my testing, and all my other stuff is just kind of taking second chair of this because we want to get this stuff back to you because we realize that the weather's getting ready to change. So the first things first, and I'm sure there's an embargo on here, so I can't really talk about them too much, but those. All right, I got those, and I got a set of those. So these I'm interested in because we've been, you see, if you guys on Instagram or anything, Wilson has done an ingenious marketing ploy using Manilow from the Tropicana group, a golf group. The dude's hilarious. And I don't know if he's much of a golfer, but he is hilarious. And I think it was a good call on their part to bring him in. So not too bad there. Another announcement. Oh, let's see. Let's use this one. Another announcement. I don't know if I've shown you this yet or not. I know I showed you the tri-hots. We do have those. Now, see that guy right there? There we go. Toulon, the Las Vegas. Nice milling. It's a different kind of milling, by the way. There it is. There's the milling. And we got that. Comes with a green, dark green. It looks black here, but it is, take my word for it, it's a dark green stroke lab with a Toulon design putter. I've got a couple in the shop, more are coming. So I can say, I guess, since I've got them, Toulon's changed their business model to be a little bit more boutique-like and to do a little more competition on the Scotty Cameron level. and they only are going to keep 400 accounts ever. And apparently I'm one of them. And I am the only one in Ohio/West Virginia. So if you guys are looking for a Toulon putter and you don't want to go through the garage, let me know. I can hook you right up. And we can get it. We can either get it ordered and I can get it to you or whatever you want to do. Now I know I showed you the tri-hot, but this is the double. I've got a triple wide. These guys, I like them, right? I like them. What I'm finding out is I also like a slightly larger grip too, in order to control it, because everything I got's right-handed, save one putter out of all these things. And I tend to control it better with a slightly larger grip, left hand low. But the tri-hot, the new inserts feel a little bit more firmer. I guess that's the way to do it. And the tri-hot and the 11 now, the new 11 that's out, I think they run a little heavier. And they feel a little bit better. Where if you're really impacted, you want it a little bit lighter, a little more feel. The Toulons, and from initial for me testing, tend to go that direction. Also, oh man, we're really rolling. We'll just make this one big one. You guys have seen, you know what that looks like, right? There it is, Graphite Design. I'm officially a dealer there as well. These have brand new grips on them. They're in the fitting system. This was the second dose of them, so now I have a couple of flexes of the DIs, the XCs, the UBs, and the MADs. So across the spectrum, I think we covered. We don't have them all, but I've got a good smattering to figure out where we need to go. I am thinking that's going to turn out to be pretty good. All right, let's see. Anything else? Just had all kinds of stuff. All right, I think we covered it all. So let me know what you think. Do you think throwing out all this trash out on there for a celebration is cool or not cool? And you know, hey, and enjoy your Valentine's Day. Chicka chicka wah wah. All right, let's get started. Ray Farrell, how you doing, sir? Well, thank you very much for the service. From SoCal, what are your thoughts on face balance or toe hang putters? Does my stroke really need one or the other? And can moving the adjustable weights make a difference? Well, just so happens I've got that. So Ray, I'm going to click you off here. So when we talk about face balance, you know, it's like when you hold it, it goes like this. If it's not face balance, it does like that, right? And yes, it does. There is a correlation between your type of swing and the balance of the face. Now they've made some. I don't think this one will do it. Now what's the big change has been, Ray, where you may hear some confusion is, so mallet, right? This is a mallet, and all mallets are supposed to do this, right? Well, how about that? So why is that doing that? Well, from Toulon himself, we discussed this a few years back, is that the tour really, really liked the look of that. All right. The mallet had a lot of sight lines, and if they could line it up, they would make all kinds of putts. At least that's what they were thinking. Except most of the tour guys have an arcing swing of some variety or another, and that the face balance was fighting them. So Mr. Toulon, or Sean, came up with that guy, the S-neck. And the S-neck helps flop the thing open. And all of a sudden now you've got this putter that wants to do this, right? Wants to do that. And that has all the alignment. So it's the best of both worlds. That's the reason why you see Rosie's out there. That's the reason why you see number 7s out there. You see a lot of that. Now there still are the traditionalists, and it could be it's still a cosmetic thing, is something to the eye. So if you're more of a traditionalist and you like that particular look, then okay. All right, because it still works. Now, there are some straight back, straight forwards, and that's when the regular mallet without that neck comes into play, and you're good to go. So, to answer that question, yes. Now, can weights help making a difference? And the answer to that one is also yes. These guys, both, it just so happens, see those guys right there? Those are adjustable weights. So you could, per se, adjust the rate of closure, or yeah, you could adjust the rate of closure. It doesn't necessarily have to be whoop. It could slow it down as well by changing weights. It's now we'll go if I put, let's say I had 2 6s in there, and if I went from a 4 to a 6, is that going to be a big deal? No, but but if you're very sensitive to weight, very well may. But you probably are going to have to go a little bit wider in the weight dispersion in order to make that happen. So, Ray, I hope that helped you. Thank you for staying on here. Well, that's early for you in SoCal, so good. And hopefully you didn't stay up too late last night. Emmanuel, how are you, sir? Happy Valentine's Day right back at you. Just got the auditor ruler today. What do you think? We'll have some adjustment issues training, but it looks great. Busy fitting day. 5 drivers out the door. You are the man, sir. You are the man. Are you Emmanuel, did you get the MAD shaft? I'm gonna have to pull it out here. Somebody on here, I remember talked about getting the MAD shaft. And I was just wondering if that was you, and if it was, what'd you think of it? Let me know. All right. Oh, Mrs. McGolf, if you get this, I'll take those 2 questions too that I left over there. I got 2 questions via the internet, one from Dave, and the other one I can't remember the gentleman's name, to ask some questions, so we'll answer those as well. All right, Danny, on a ping rebuild, you talked about spining and how there could be multiple areas where the wraps could touch. Are you allowed what? You bet. I'll let you come on in. Smart Alec. And how the wraps could touch. How do you know which one of these is the correct one to use? Well, Danny, what it is that, yeah, and when I talk about that, is we talk about different ones where they have, if you had just one, that would be the hard side. Then you have ones where they turn it, and then you can have they call a spine 1, 2, and 3, and it goes from the hardest to the softest in that. And typically you find the one that's the hardest, because that's the one that's affecting the bend the most. And then you flow to that. And that's what they do. Now, the machine that I use, or the little jig that I use, will find different ones, but not to the precision that one of those shaft auditors, where you got to pull down and it measures the strain, and you can see it, and they measure them using micrometers. Then you can really, really narrow it down. And it's a neat little tool to find those, if that was your thing. There's some guys that are really big with shafts, and they just swear by those things. And I would, if that's where you're going, then I would certainly look at that. But just stay with the hardest one. All right. Jim Cavaleras, what do you say, sir? No, new knee. Oh, my goodness. Put a new in last Wednesday, off the walker to a cane today. Should be able to putt next week. Nice. Man, that's some quick. Especially for a new knee. And you're on this thing in a week? Wow. I want to know what they gave you in the operating room to make you heal like that. Nicely done. Okay, my question is, are putters legal that can be adjusted loft or lie with an adapter like a driver? I got an itch. Hold on. I don't see why not. The whole thing about having adapters and adjusting loft and lies is that whatever you start out with, that's what you get. You can't go in the middle of the round and start tweaking on it and go, oh, that wasn't working for me today, I'm not feeling it, and start tweaking on it. No. Whatever you brought, that's what you play. And that's how that works. So an adjustable putter, well, like even the although that rule would probably be out the door in a one club tournament where you can adjust the club because you got to make a putter out of it. But the rest of them, no, they got to be fixed, and it's got to take a unique tool to adjust them, and not a non-common tool. So you couldn't use like a flat-bladed screwdriver because you could use a quarter and do your changing, but an Allen key or a torque wrench or something along that lines would be the way to go. All right, Mr. Ravlock, what do you say, sir? It is starting to slow down here. We're supposed to see something into the 60s, but then it turns around and gets into the 20s. But nevertheless, slight chance of rain. We're getting out of the freezing weather, so that's a good thing. All righty. How many people put car wax on their clubs and shafts to protect them? Jim will do a what's in the bag before you start. We do. I will probably do so number one, he's like, how many people put car wax on their clubs? And I've talked about that in several videos. When you talk about it's in order to protect them, particularly if you leave your clubs in the garage, right? And you put a coat of wax on, it's a protective barrier. Let them stay in there, and it prevents oxidation of steel. Keeps when the dirt gets on, it's easy to wipe off. Very much like treating like your car, right? It does the same thing. So I see it as a good thing. What's in my bag? I will do a what's in my bag probably after it does get settled in. Right now, it's not. I do have some clubs on the way. And once they arrive and I do some work with them, then yeah, we'll do one there. Because I have a bag coming too that a lot of you guys probably think is pretty cool. All right. Mike from Buffalo. All I have to say this week is winter needs an abrupt ending. Well, when you're up in Buffalo, brother, I mean, that's just snow country, bud. And yeah, I agree, though. Kurt Evans. Yep, she's getting along. We got her not only that little knee scooter, but she ordered a boot off of Amazon, a shorter one. So she had a foot issue before, had this really long boot. It went right up almost to the back of the knee. And now we got a shorter, more easy to use walking boot. And it seems to help her out quite a bit. Charles, winter slowing down. Matt just got another 8 inches of snow. Oh my goodness gracious, Charles. Oh, so we had a squall come through last night and it dumped about a half of an inch on us. There's that fluffy, thick stuff or slick stuff. Not very fun, but by noon it was gone. All righty. Willard, how are you, sir? Yeah, ours is almost all gone. You can see out the back. That's not snow. Well, that's not snow. That's just sun beating off of the. Well, hold on. Maybe it is snow. Nope, it's not snow. All that is that's the sunlight beating off and the camera's getting blown out. Hello, sir. Yeah, no. Ugh. Camilio, how are you, sir? And I'm glad for you to be back. Dave, what do you say? It has been chilly. It's been chilly all over the place around here. It's crazy. It was 13 degrees today when I got out. It was terrible. Mr. Steven, how are you, sir? Arnie Sanchez, hoorah. What do you say? Laredo, Texas. Nice. How well done. Any advice on increasing the weight of an old stainless steel Ping Anzer 2? Well, stainless steel, that's pretty nice. There's several ways of adding weight. Some are better than others, depending on what you like looking at. Number one is lead tape. Now, lead tape is kind of a tricky thing. If you just want it to be heavier, then what I would suggest is, particularly on the Anzer, it has the back tail of it, and then it flattens out, and then it goes into the next piece, right? So it's toe here. where it's heel, and then the flat spot, and then the toe. And typically this is just like an Anzer, except for that extension is not there. And you'll lay it right there, right? You can lay it in pieces, parts right there. Now, if you're really wanting to hide it, you can put it in the cavity. All right, you can put it in the cavity. Now you better have an X-Acto knife and a little bit of patience to make that happen, because you're gonna have to fill it up. The other way of doing it is, and I've never been a fan, but some folks liked it, is throwing some weight down the shaft and throwing a cork in it. Now it's a fine way of doing things. I've just never subscribed to it. I never thought I just don't like it because of the potential rattling, and if the cork slides, there's too many ifs for me. I didn't like it. Now there is one more, and it depends on your type of putting. It's called back weighting, and use a balance certified or a tour lock. And what it does is it goes in here. It goes into the back of the grip. And what it does is it puts the weight right here. That's one of my favorites. If you can put the weight behind the hands, it slows down all this, right? It slows down all that. And it makes your backswing more consistent. That's been tested and proven to be factual. And you put it there, and it's not it doesn't mess with the cosmetics of the club. So I would look at that. There's our buddy. What do you say, Shank Shop? All right. Yeah, I know. Right. And he's talking about the throwing of the cans, and I think you're correct. They were there. There was plenty of those. A lot of the, I won't call them superintendents, but there's a lot of road guys, roadies for that hole. There was plenty of those there, and they cleaned it up in short work. So good for them. Mr. Hodges, how are you, sir? From a rainy Bristol. Oh my. Well, hopefully the sun comes out. How is it over there anyway? Is this the time? What's the best time of year to be in the UK if you're looking for moderate weather? All right, I'm with you, Jim. Yeah. There you go. Right. It's I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but like Matt said, that's the only place it would work. I don't think I would. I still don't think I like it, but he's got a point. Danny did not like having them to delay the golf to pick up cans. There you go. Matt's excited. Good, good, good. We are too. Libra 9, and count me out on that one. Okay, we're on that side of it. Over the internet, it was funny. There's the, what's the guy's name? Ryan Barath. Anyway, he was with TXG, might still be. He was at GolfWorks for Golf WRX for a while. And he's doing a lot of their social media stuff. Younger guy, he's a club maker type, and he didn't like it. And boy, oh boy, did they climb all over him. I don't know. Good. I'm glad you like it. Did you like the paper cut part? I'm getting calls from Georgia about that. Oh, for sure. Charles. That's a whole different crowd, buddy. I've never been, but we've had plenty of folks up here that have went, and I've never heard of such a self-policed crowd in my whole life, and I think it's great. Jason, what do you say, sir? You're right back at it. Hope you're feeling it. So I'm curious about your thoughts on the Mevo Plus with the Pro package that gives the D plane. Good enough for a fitting. Well, it does do a lot, but that was the question that I posed to FlightScope when I was down there. I said, well, why don't I save myself $12,000 and get one of these? And the answer was that the X3 is still far more precise. and it still does give you more stuff like accelerations and things like that. Now, the D plane, not a lot of people understand what the D plane is, Jason, and so you probably don't see it very often. Uh, but can you get some good data off of it if you were just trying to practice to get to certain areas? Then yes, it can. Christkin, is that? Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Christkin in Germany. Wow. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Dude, the burn-ins turned out pretty good. I have to admit, I'm probably the biggest critic on our on the food, and I struggle with burn-ins. The first time I cooked them, they turned out great, and I've struggled to meet that number. However, this time around, I think I figured it out, and it's all about the cooking style versus anything else. Oh, and I will mention, and there's another plug for the American Soul Brothers, right? The American Soul Brothers, those guys I showed you at the PGA show. They had the original, which is more of a sweet type sauce, and then the Shut Your Mouth, and I mixed them together. The Shut Your Mouth has a much more tang or bite in it, so I mixed them together and put those on the burn ends, and I got a thumbs up from Mrs. McGolf, and I got a thumbs up from my dad. So hey, all right, all righty, so. Here we go. David sent a question. He says, I better take this off. I hope Mr. McGolf's doing well. Not sure it's going to make live stream tonight as it's Valentine's Day. David, there you go. Two quick questions. During a fitting interview, what are one or two key questions you usually get? What questions you find you usually... Let me write this. What one or two key questions you find usually get you the answers you seek? Whoo, okay. So we do fittings, you know, when you go to a fitting, there's typically a question and answer session. In a fitting, what we do is we have them fill out, basically we'll call it a questionnaire. Typical stuff, name, address, that kind of stuff, but then stuff about preferences. Right? Do you like forge clubs? Do you like steel shafts? Do you like rubber grips? Do you like offsets? Do you like these types of things? And then what are you looking to get out of your golf clubs? Do you want more control? Do you want to hit it further? Do you want more accuracy? That kind of stuff. And then we ask them, what do you want to stop? And typically the two will combine, right? I want to stop hitting it fat. I want to stop hitting it thin. I want to stop slicing it to the right. All these different things, they're check marks on our fitting forms. And then we ask if they have any physical issues that might prevent them from swinging their best. And then we talk about that for a little bit. And then once we get it all together, then I explain our process. And then we get to that point. And if you notice, I have never once asked anybody how far they hit their 7-iron or their driver on this. Now, I do say, what's the longest club you hit well? Think about that for a moment. What is the longest club you hit well? I've had as much as pitching wedges. I've had hybrids, 6-irons, slew drivers, that kind of stuff. And then what's your least favorite club? I've had people put the same club on there. So that's where you start. Those are the types of questions right there. I'm not necessarily so keyed in on their number, because in a lot of the fitting, what we'll go over is, here, hit your gamer and let's see if we can beat it. Because in here, I set my stuff a little more conservative. So if you're a guy that says, yeah, I hit my 9-iron 245 yards, and then you come in here and you hit it 110, you get your disappointment going, and this negative thoughts start creeping in. And I always say, hey, I set it to this. So hit 5 or 6 shots, and there's your apples, so that when I give you this other club, there's another bunch of apples. So we know if we've made an improvement. So if you go back out there and you hit your 9-iron 245 yards, then you might hit this 9-iron 250. And that's just how it goes. All right, that's one. When drilling out the heads to take the all fit sleeve, what's your process? Do you step drill? What size do you use? Many thanks. All right, so I only have the driver ones, but wait, here we go. Okay, when we're talking about the all fit, we're talking about this guy right here. All right, that piece that's sticking right up in here. And what it does, a shaft slides down in there and a nut tightens it all together, and you have full shaft insertion, which gives the club a much nicer feeling. So anyway, what he's talking about is the sleeve has to go into here. Look how clean that is. Man, I did some pretty good work. All right, so it has to go in there. So when you, there's a number, it's like 10.2 millimeters. And Liam from the place where you buy these will send you a drill bit. And as I've said before, I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of the drill bit for doing reaming type stuff. However, whatever he's made this stuff of eats hosels for breakfast. It just tears this stuff right up and it goes right into it. Now, the real trick, and I had another guy from Vancouver just call me about that or send me an email about that as well. So this adapter only has a given insertion depth. It only goes about yay far. The rest of this hosel could go much, much further. Well, you only have to tear out that much there. You don't go all the way to the bottom. So if you only go and so what I have to do is I mark the drill bit for the insertion that I'm looking for. Because drill bits have this at the bottom where reamers are like that. And so when we ream, that we get a nice flat bottom, and that's for taking a shaft when we're building. When we're drilling, I'm not getting anywhere close to the bottom, so I'm not creating that V. Okay. So that's how that process goes. And I just hit it, boom, and I get it all in one shot. Because honestly, it's not that big a bite. It just really isn't. All right. Danny. Oh, I got another one after this one. Especially when one. Yeah, there you go. Right. All right. Second question. This is from Nick Tormasi. I have a question about putting an 8-iron shaft into my wedges. I've read that it can create more spin. I'm mostly a chipper or wedge play out of the sand. This would help my short game. Would this help my short game? And he's playing the KBS dollar tapers and in my shaft in my irons. Okay, this is going to be quite one of those things, right? So when we're talking about making a spinner shaft, and they're talking about taking an 8-iron of a higher weight /flex, cutting it to an 8-iron, and putting it in the club in order for you to get a little bit more kick, maybe a little bit more bite, maybe a little bit more spin. That's just the way it is. And does it work? Yeah. Yes, it does work. It's been proven to work. People are using it to this day, and it's a good thing. But if you're out there and it depends on what kind of wedge. All right. If you're a chipper, if you're using what I would call a chipper, which is typically a 7-iron in a putter format, and you're hitting that out of the sand, or you're taking a pitching wedge to hit it out of the sand, you're flicking. You're adding this. You're adding so much loft to pull it out that you may not see any real positive aspects for doing it. Now, if you're hitting down and through, and I'm reading this wrong, and you're hitting down and through, then yeah, it'll get up there and it will give you a little bit of spin. Now, are we talking about going from 8,000 RPM to 10,000 RPM? No, but you will add spin. I would say in the tune of maybe 5 to somewhere in the ballpark, maybe between 5 and 750, depending on how you attack it. And that's just a ballparker. Okay. Mike, what do you say, buddy? As far as throwing cans and stuff, not liking it, but what to do about it, unsure. I think that's where we all set, Mike, is that, they're having fun and it's the loudest hole on golf. And They kind of come expecting it. I mean, you saw one of the guys made a really terrific putt, and took his shirt off. So, I mean, it's all in good fun. If they're having fun with it, I guess we can't have anything with it. So, I don't know. It just seems like I look at it, it's just an awful lot of work to make the green really, really nice for the group coming in there behind them. Yeah, right. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Danny, I'd like to see a test with the staff balls against the triad. Well, we're going to do something. Danny, we're going to do something with those guys. I've got them marked. I pull them out. I've got them set. I've got them with their little. I put the little dots on them for my flight scope, and I haven't read all the articles on it. I see a lot of stuff on YouTube where they say it's the straightest ball, and these guys are hitting and they're playing well with it. And funny part is they actually get kind of shocked at how good the ball really is. So what I'll probably end up doing is taking some new versions of my gamers, hitting them, and then just seeing how they compare, because I know how my golf balls are built. I have to look at these a little bit more and see. Hopefully, maybe I can get a hold of Frank. If you guys remember Frank on the Wilson ones, he's actually the designer. He's pretty funny. Dude is incredibly smart, fifth dimensional kind of smart, and maybe we'll get into that. And then we will do a comparison, though. By the way, Brendan, how are you, sir? Hello from Ireland. Tried the Toulon, Las Vegas. The feel was unreal. Loved it. Hope to get one for the summer. Well, Brendan, all I can tell you is you know where to get one now. Maybe we can get Callaway Europe to send it over. We'll see how that one works out. Okay, that's Robin talking with Mr. Pulaski. There's Dave. The new tri-hop putters are expensive. Can't imagine what the Toulons cost. The funny part is not a whole lot more, but they are more, but not a whole lot. Not paying more for a Chinese-made putter than an American-made putter. There you go. Does that Toulon have too much toe hang? I love milled face on a putter. This one had there. Yeah. Well, so Danny, the reason why it does, it's made to. Okay. With the S neck, it's made to have a toe hang. Now they do have others that don't have the S neck and they're straight back and straight forward. So it's just a matter of ordering the proper setup. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's we do something like this because we're in such a rural neighborhood. It's really a leap of faith. I mean, we really looked at it hard, and when he said that I talked to the rep, and he had already been by all the really big golf course accounts, where I thought, well, why aren't those guys getting these things? And I think they have a different buy-in than I do, and at least that's what I'm figuring. Because I can't believe they wouldn't want to get in on it, and at least to have that exclusivity, particularly in one of your more upper end markets, right? And so if they do, then now they have to buy it through me. So, and I'm going to be the only one apparently. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, Mrs. McGolf will wring my neck. Mr. Hodges, what do you say? What do you think of the Project O 6-point graphite blue iron shafts? I think they are an older model. I have to think about this one for a moment. Well, the Project X series in graphite. I mean, it was a good shaft. I mean, it was well made from a quality standpoint. It's really funny how the market kind of, puts up its nose to different manufacturers. When they see Project X, they think steel shaft. and they see this graphite and they go, "Oh my God, it's graphite." It's, no, 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 no. However, we saw the Project X in the PXI, or is it PIX, and hardly anybody understood it was graphite. And yeah, and it worked very, very well. The blue graphite iron, I'm believing, was the one that was a little bit stout of the colors. Again, the easiest way to answer that one, James, is that if it fits the way that you swing, then it is awesome. If you're getting it just because it says Project X 6.0 on it, then I would veer away. I think the red are good for golf, not the fan littering on the course. Yeah. All right. There's Sunny V. What do you say, sir? I'm sure the snow hasn't melted away, and but hopefully you guys are staying busy indoors. What do we got here? Final Cutish. Okay. Is that a video thing or is that just it? Anyway, I have a 2011 Mizuno. It has a power ridge for sweet spotting, but a knife. All right, I have a 2000 Mizuno. It has a power ridge for sweet spotting, but like butter. Average price secondhand. Oh, okay. Some in the 2000s, you might even been teazoid like. Okay. Play with the. Well, you know what? If you're an iron guy, playing with a hybrid certainly will help because they're more geared towards the iron swings to be sure. Dave currently game the Stroke Lab White Hot OG7. Wonder how the new Odyssey lineup would compare to my sevens putter. If you have the Stroke Lab in it, Dave, and you have the OGs, they have what's out this year is they'll have the Stroke Lab in the several different necks, like and then they're going to have a mini 7. So some people thought that putter head was a little too big. They made a smaller version of it, and I don't know if it comes with the same number of necks, but the one that we got has toe hang. Now they also have another one that is it comes back and then stops, and there's a bar behind it, and it's got a different name. And I still haven't learned them all. But so this year's OG line, so to speak, it ain't going to be any different. However, this one will have a different feel to be sure. Because you're and why was it? Because it's a milled putter versus an inserted putter. They will all have different feels. This one will be a little more smoother, I think, is probably the better way of saying it. It provides you a little bit different kind of a feedback in it. I think that's a pretty good one in order to get through there. Hey, I wasn't messing around. All right, did get the mad shaft. Lost some yards. 248 but narrowed the dispersion. Less than 20 yards. A trade-off. Waiting for better weather. Okay. Yes, 8 yards. It depends on your dispersion. If you're finding the third and fourth cut of rough at 256, but you're finding the fairway at 248, that's a trade. But if you're only talking yards and you're still in there, no. Libra 9. How long should average golfers hit their 54-degree wedge? I can only hit mine 60 yards. The perfect golf answer to that is it depends. Certain people will tend to scoop it and add loft, and your 54 becomes a 60, we'll say. Some people tend to hit down, and the 54 becomes a 50, so it goes a little bit further. And then there's some that are traditional. Then you have to take into account swing speeds and that kind of stuff. But so basically what you're saying is you get your sand wedge about 60 yards. Try that. Now, what I will say, Libra 9, in order to ensure that you're getting what you want out of it, I do what's called half swings. right? And what you do is you take the club back. I don't know if you can see this or not, but so what you'll do is you'll take the club back. We'll even take this out of here. You'll take the club back until your hands are, what we call belt high, and that's all the further back. And then you go all the way through, and then you finish. And you don't slow down, right? Don't slow down. And then make those good connective shots. Make sure the contact is good, and then see how far it goes. And then if you're making really really good contact, then take full swings, and then see what your real distance would be. Because yes, I've had guys in here that can hit their sand wedge more than that, and they were really really strong golfers. They just hit it notoriously high. All right. Yes, Mizuno is good. They've been known to be a very very outstanding forger of irons since the beginning. So, but 2011, you're getting outside the bounds of. I mean, if you're just getting started, and it's a neat little deal, then fine. At 2011, you're looking at 11-year-old set of irons. Chances are, the newer stuff would probably be a little bit more forgiving. There's Krister. How are you, sir? Oh my goodness gracious. Are you kidding me? It was like a cold with a loss of taste and smell. 3 days, the aftermath. All right, good for you. And maybe it was that Omicron stuff. But we're glad to see that you're back with us, buddy. Good man, Charles. Have you ever fitted somebody for a driver swing weight in the E range? Well, I've not fitted them specifically for a swing weight in the E range, but I have, because of what they were, as an NBA guy. And we had to make a 47-inch driver. And by just sheer, and the guy was really strong. And so all putting all those things together, yeah, he ended up in the D range or E range, sorry. Now, somebody that was short in a swing or very abrupt in their change might like something like that too. Yeah, there you go, Dave. Good job. Ooh, look at you go. Well done. Final cut. How many balls should you hit in a session? Uh, it final cut. Basically, it's all about how you get tired. When people go out and they hit balls, when they go out and hit balls, what they'll do is they're just hitting to see how far they can hit it, or just taking these massively wild cuts. And in reality, if you're looking to get better and you're using range time as part of that, it's called a practice. And you want to practice one or two typical things that you're looking for. Maybe it's a half swing, maybe it is a better contact, and we don't care about the distance. We're looking for a feel of a swing or the way that the ball's flying. Those types of things. You're working out something. It could be, if you're just getting started, then you're just looking at getting your swing in a groove, that kind of thing. And it just depends on the effort and in the level of shape that you're in. I've seen people hit 10 balls and will sit down and kind of think about what they did and hit 10 more and just do that as a rotation. I've watched guys just pummel 50 golf balls and then take a break and do 50 more. So it depends on on the individual, but never lose sight of the fact of what you're doing there. There we go. We got here. Good afternoon. We got some new Callaway clubs coming in this weekend. Nice. ST Max with nice. I think you're going to enjoy them, dude. Get ready to gain a little bit of distance. Those things are very, very strong. Very, very nice. I think they'll do you well. How did the dog like it? Well, it was like she must have known what they were, because I had a paw on my leg the entire time I was eating. James, March to September. Oh, here we go. March to September best. Okay. All right. Well, we've been over there twice, but I keep forgetting but yeah, March, September. Okay. That gives me a range. Bobby Morrison, how are you, sir? Happy Valentine's Day. Question is, when spining flowing a club, should the marks match each other? Should the spine match the flowing mark? Thank you. Well, if you watched the last one I did, you'd find out that that's a big fat no. Now, typically, okay, so when we do the spining, we're finding the orientation, and I like going at up and down at noon, and that's how I put the spine in. Okay. So do they normally line up? When I'm doing irons plus or minus a little bit, yeah, they normally do. All right. I find it funny that in clubs with a lot of offset or big honking drivers with a lot of weight out the edge, it throws them off. Now, it also could be that I just couldn't tell the difference between that spine 1 and 2. They were just very, very close. It could have been that as well. So there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in there, but you should be, if you're like this, I mean, the spine is a little bit either way because we're using an open ball bearing and we're going by feel versus a micrometer. But, it's this. Yeah, it should be fairly close. Now, does it have to be exact? No. The whole idea is that you're flowing it properly because you have the head on it. And as long as you have the head on it, you're good to go. All right. Oh, Fred Vornheder. Okay. If I cut 1 inch off my irons, what does that do to the lie angle? Well, not being a smart alecky, Fred, but it doesn't do anything to the lie angle. It doesn't change. The lie angle is a lie angle. Now, what does it do to you? That is a whole nother issue. If what it'll do is it'll make it feel like let me think about this one. Think flatter. Is that right? I always get these backwards. So because if you went longer, it would feel more upright. So I'm thinking of it from an adjustment point of view. So I know this is not the right thing to use, but so if this is straight, there we go. If this is straight and you cut off 1 inch, it will feel like you've done this. Okay. And if you go flat longer, it'll feel like you've done that. So you would have to make it bend it up. But as a whole, I would when you cut 1 inch off, before you go and start adjusting anything, go out and take and hit it. You may find out it's just exactly what you needed. Liquid Golf Designs. Nice. Hello from Gilbert, Arizona. Well, thank you for joining us. Would love to customize or refurbish a golf club for you. Thanks. Well, send me an email and we'll talk about some of that. Liquid Golf Designs. I think I've heard of this. Gilbert, Arizona. Very sweet. Very cool. Okay. All right. Who doesn't like ice cream? I don't know. And who doesn't like pancakes? I still don't know. All righty. Let's see. Here we go. Here's a new one. Eric Maselli. Masil. There you go. Eric Masil. From California. Thank you for joining us. We call burn-ins beef marshmallows since they melt in your mouth. Good enough. I'd say that's fair. That's fair. Very good. I can go with beef marshmallows. That would work. Man, we're coming up with all kinds of it, right? I called it meat fudge earlier, and then brisket brownies and beef marshmallows. Man, we're all over it. I think you need to do a video on spinner shafts. And has there been since there's been? Yes. You know what? So, okay. Let's do this. What is a spinner shaft? Let's do that. What is a spinner And I know a guy that can help me out too. I know two guys that could help me out. One of the guys actually originated, so maybe we'll do that. All right. Do I do true length technology with my clients? No, I do not. How do I feel about it? Eric, I think it's a neat idea. The guy that came up with it was a member of the PCS with during the same time I was there when he came up with it. There is something to be said about, and there's been other guys have taken swats at it, but there's something to be said about your height and the way that you deal with it. Now, what I will say is there's only one guy that I know of. Uh, there's only one guy I know of that's actually dynamically tackled that question, and he's in Scotland. And his name is Scott. Um, it's SSG over in Scotland, and I will absolutely murder his last name, and so I don't want to do that. But he fits to a four, a seven, and a pitching wedge, and his bay is absolutely chock-a-block full, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And different ones. And I ask him if he comes away with a lot of different ones in each set, and his answer is yeah, all the time. But yeah, what you're talking about is kind of a paper version of the same thing. But yeah, I think it's a neat idea. Have you thought to use a Titleist ball with the X3? No. Okay. No, I have not, but because I'm more of a Callaway guy. The Toulons are the same price as the Tri-Hots here in Ireland. Ooh, there you go. There's nothing wrong with that, Final. Not a bit. Have I tried the 2022 new lineup? No, I haven't, Eric. The other Eric has decided not to sell heads to guys like me to do more of the online, and that's more of a business decision. And I wish him the best of luck. Although Eric, the other Eric, if you're listening, you want me to test the lefty for you, I'll take a 6-iron all day long, and we'll take a look at it. I've got a set. They're sitting in this bag over here, and they worked very, very well. I do like where he's going with the new designs, a little softer on the bottom, right? So they're not such a shovel, and they do have kind of an edgier look, which he's kind of that way. So it's pretty nice. Seems to be having a whole lot of fun with them. So good for him. We like that one. Good. All right. Oh my. Well, Krister, that's kind of since I'm a Toulon guy, I'm gonna have to go with Toulon. I've not seen a battle ready putter, only a picture, and they do look pretty cool. But if I'm gonna the knowing what I know about PXG and knowing what I know that Toulon does for his putters, I would have to go with the Toulon. All right. Gator Golf USA. We say, buddy. There's a lot of emojis going on there. All right. Bill Winger. How are you, Bill? Are you of any sources that carry older shafts like the bubble shafts or hump shafts? Or am I stuck digging around eBay? Try Golf Shafts USA. Or is it Golf Shaft or Golf Shafts USA or golfshafts.com? They're the only place I know where you might find an old bubble shaft, or a hump shaft for that matter. The bubble shafts are certainly they were proprietary for TaylorMade, where the hump shafts were an Apollo model that were in steel. Now, they did have a graphite model, and it was proprietary to Cobras. Okay, so you got to be kind of careful when you're looking to think one or the other is going to be okay. They do not play the same. All right, in fact, very much they don't play the same. But that's where you want to look at that one. But try golfshafts.com or is it Golf Shafts USA? but they're the only people because it's been quite a while. All right, Cerberak. All right. All righty. Guys, Mrs. McGolf told me it was towards the end, so being Valentine's Day, guess who I'm listening to. So we got three more questions, and then we're done. All right, Tim Barford, how are you, sir? Any tops for removing hot melt from a driver? Had some break off in an old SLR, and it sounds like maracas now. Who? Well, getting it out is going to be problematic. Okay. Because if it's if it's like the hot. Oh, you're talking about the little glue, the metal piece that's on the end of it. Oh, the other thing I can tell you, Tim, is that you might have to shove some more hot melt in there. Or that's called rattle stop. The hot metal rattle stop are very much the same thing. What you want to do is run the heat along the bottom and get that hot melt hot, right? Don't burn their paint or anything, but just get it nice and warm, and then jam it, and kind of tap it on there and hope that that tip gets caught. If not, then it's very little likelihood that it's going to work. But what you'll have to do is turn the thing. Because it's got a pretty big hole in it, right? When you open this thing up, and what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hold it like this and heat it here, and keep pulling the heat this way. Sorry, keep pulling it so you pull the heat this way. Don't go like this, or it'll fall on the hair. And keep pulling the heat this way, and then just let it kind of ooze out, and hopefully that the current that you created, the hot melt, will carry your tip out. Olean McKenna. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, McKenna, but hey, all right. From Ireland, thank you for staying up so late, sir. Can you tip iron shafts that have already been fitted to clubs? A friend got a shaft half-inch too long for him and slightly soft, so instead of reshafting. Well, yeah, you can do that. So if they're slightly soft, you can pull them out and slightly tip them, and especially if they're half-inch too long. Now, if you go a half-inch, you're going up a basically a flex. So it depends on how soft you want to be. But yeah, you can mess around with those shafts. Just pull them out, do a little quick trim, and put them in. Now, I say that assuming that they're parallel. If they're not parallel and they're taper tipped, you would probably be better off just moving them down a notch and then trimming them all together, and then just buying one shaft. Mr. Paul, how are you, sir? All righty. Alex Biggs. When somebody snaps an iron shafts and asks for a replacement that is no longer available, what is your process? Do you use a similar weight and frequency based on other clubs? Alex, there happens to be a shaft replacement guide out there. And that's what I use to get close. We talk with our friends at GolfWorks because they deal with that every single day. All right. Every single day they deal with that, and they have their background in measuring those things and talking with people and understand. They have that. Now it's readily available, but you can get that, and you get the shaft replacement guide. Boom, done. And they're normally very, very close too. Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. All right. Jeffrey Smith from Portland. How are you, sir? All right. Last one, guys. Have you any experience with True Temper multi-step shafts? Multi-step shafts. Jeff, most of the I'm looking around to see if I had one. If you're talking about multi-step as in lots of steps going down there, yeah, a lot of that, they do all kinds of those. Now, if we're talking about a multi-step where it's one of their baselines, because they have one of those, I think it's called a multi-step. I normally don't deal in that particular shaft because the quality is not the best in comparison to like the DGs or something like that. However, True Temper makes a very, very good product, and I would go with their trim codes if you had that. Alrighty, there we go. You're welcome, sir. Hopefully it works out, and thank you for staying up so late. All right, guys, we're making it early today. Normally I go way, way long, but it's Valentine's Day. So, guys, thank you so very much. I haven't done my whole like and subscribe thing, but like and subscribe, right? Like and subscribe, and that way you get more of the videos when they drop, and we get to show the channel off to more people from around the planet. And that's what we're aiming to, is to help folks. So again, we do have a video coming out. It is another boxes to builds. It will be very interesting. It's coming out tomorrow at 7 a.m. my time. Take a gander at it. And next week we will be talking from Gulf Shores, Alabama. All right, it'll be the Bob and Jim show, or the Jim and Bob show, depending on how it goes. And we'll see you guys then. So as always, let's see your scores go low.